Do you ever look at other people's lives and feel sad? Do you see someone on social media and think, why is their life so perfect? Why do they have so much and I have so little? Why are they moving forward and I am still standing here? If yes, you are not alone. Many people feel this way. Not just sometimes. Every single day. Social media is everywhere today. We use it every day. We wake up in the morning, and the first thing we do is reach for our phone. Before we open our eyes properly. Before we drink a glass of water. Before we say good morning to the people we love. We are already scrolling. Already watching. Already comparing. We see photos of people on vacation in beautiful places. We see people with nice clothes and big houses. We see people getting new jobs, buying new cars, getting married, having babies, celebrating achievements. And their lives look so easy, so bright, so full. And then we look at our own life, and something inside us becomes quiet, and heavy, and small. We think, why not me? Why does my life not look like that? What am I doing wrong? Am I not working hard enough? Am I not smart enough? Am I not good enough? But wait. Stop for a moment. Before you go any further, I want you to hear something very important. That feeling is not the truth. That feeling is a trap. And millions of people fall into it every single day. Here is what social media really is. It is a highlight reel. People share their best moments, their happiest photos, their biggest achievements. They choose the perfect angle. They pick the perfect filter. They wait for the perfect lighting. And then they share it with the world. But they do not share the bad days. They do not share the arguments. They do not share the bills they cannot pay. They do not share the nights they could not sleep. They do not share the moments they sat alone and cried. They do not share the failures that came before the success. They do not share the pain that is hiding behind the smile. So what you see online is only a very small part of the truth. A tiny window. And you are judging your entire life by looking through that tiny window. That is not fair. Not to you. Not to your journey. Here is something important to understand. Every person you admire has a life you cannot fully see. The woman with the beautiful home is quietly fighting a painful problem behind closed doors. The man with the impressive career is losing sleep every night from pressure and stress. The couple in the happy vacation photos are struggling with something they have never told anyone. The friend who always looks confident is dealing with fear and doubt, just like you. Every single person has hard days. Every single person has moments of doubt. Every single person has a story you do not know. That is the truth of every human life. Life is not what it looks like from the outside. Life is what it feels like from the inside. Comparing your life to others is like comparing apples and oranges. Every person is different. Every life is different. Every journey has its own path and its own timing. It is not fair to compare them. And more than that, it is not kind to yourself. There is an old story about a young monk who lived in a monastery high in the mountains. He was hardworking. He was dedicated. He woke up early every morning and meditated for hours. He studied deeply. He tried his very best every single day. But he was not happy. Every day he looked at the other monks around him. One monk could sit in meditation for 5 hours without moving. Another monk had memorized hundreds of ancient teachings. Another seemed so calm and peaceful that nothing ever troubled him. And no matter how hard the young monk tried, he always felt like he was behind, like he was not enough. One evening he went to his old teacher and sat down with a heavy heart. He said, "Teacher, I try so hard every day, but I look at the other monks and I feel like I am failing. They are so much further ahead than me. What is wrong with me?" The teacher looked at him with kind eyes. He did not say anything right away. Instead, he stood up slowly and walked to the window. He pointed outside to the monastery garden and said, "Come, look." The young monk came and looked out the window. The garden was full of flowers. Roses, jasmine, marigolds, lotus. All different, all beautiful, but all blooming at completely different times. Some were in full bloom. Some were just beginning to open. Some were still closed tight, with no sign of color yet. The teacher said gently, "Tell me, which flower is doing it wrong?" The young monk looked at the garden for a long time, and slowly, something shifted inside him. The teacher continued, "The rose does not look at the lotus and feel ashamed that it is not blooming in water. The marigold does not look at the jasmine and feel sad that it does not smell the same. Each flower blooms in its own time, in its own way, in its own season, and every single one is exactly right." He placed his hand on the young monk's shoulder and said, "You are not behind. You are not failing. You are simply in your own season. Trust your roots. Trust your timing. Your bloom will come." The young monk returned to his room that night with a quiet peace in his heart that he had not felt in a very long time. He had spent so much time looking at other flowers that he had forgotten to take care of his own. And we do the same thing, do we not? We spend so much time looking at other people's lives that we forget to live our own. We spend so much energy measuring ourselves against others that we lose sight of how far we have already come. We become so focused on what we are missing that we forget everything we are holding. When you compare, you feel less happy, less grateful, less hopeful, less worthy. But that feeling is not the truth. It is simply what happens when you look at someone else's chapter and forget that you are writing your own completely different book. Your story is not their story. Your timeline is not their timeline. Your path is not their path. And it was never supposed to be. Some people bloom early. Some bloom late. Some take a long and winding road before they arrive. And when they arrive with a depth and a richness that only comes from the journey they walked. You are on your journey. It does not look like anyone else's. And that is not a flaw. That is exactly how it is supposed to be. So what can you do starting today? When you pick up your phone and feel that comparison feeling beginning to rise, pause. Take one slow breath. Put the phone down. And ask yourself one honest question. What is good in my life right now? Maybe it is your health. Maybe it is someone who loves you. Maybe it is a small moment of quiet in a busy day. Maybe it is the simple and powerful fact that you are still here. Still trying. Still learning. Still growing. Start there. That is your wealth. That is your story. That is your garden. Stop looking at other people's flowers.